In the world of professional wrestling, not every character or gimmick is destined for greatness. Over the years, fans have witnessed some truly bizarre and unforgettable personas gracing the ring. From creatures from the future to blatant rip-offs of popular superheroes, the wrestling world has seen it all. Here we take a look at 13 of the most outlandish and infamous gimmicks in wrestling history. Isaac Yankum, before becoming one of WWE's most enduring and successful wrestlers, as Kane, Glenn Jacobs debuted with a rather bizarre gimmick. He first appeared as Isaac Yankum, DDS, Jerry Lawler's personal dentist. This character often clashed with Bret Hart, even facing him at SummerSlam in 1995. Yankum's persona included dentist scrubs and entrance music that began with the unnerving sound of a dental drill, enough to make anyone's teeth ache. After the Yankum gimmick was shelved, Jacobs briefly appeared as Imposter Diesel, before transforming into the monstrous Kane, a role that would cement his legacy in WWE. Frier, Ferguson, Bastion, Booger. Mike Shaw is best known for his disgusting, slovenly character Bastion Booger, but before that, he played a role that got WWE into some serious trouble. As Frier Ferguson, Shaw portrayed a mad monk who made a brief appearance in WWE. The gimmick drew complaints from the Catholic Church of New York, leading to its quick cancellation. Unfortunately, Shaw then transitioned to the equally infamous Bastion Booger character, proving that one bad gimmick can often lead to another. Dustin Reynolds, known to many as Goldust, had one of the strangest debuts and exits in WCW history with the character Seven. After leaving WWE, Reynolds was set to introduce a new face-painted character named Seven, who appeared in vignettes lurking outside a child's bedroom window. When Seven finally debuted, he floated to the ring in a dramatic entrance reminiscent of The Undertaker. However, upon reaching the ring, Reynolds broke character in a worked shoot, criticizing both his former Goldust persona and the current Seven gimmick. This marked the beginning of his run as the American Nightmare. Dustin Rhodes, but the bizarre and short-lived Seven character remains one of the most outlandish in wrestling history. Mantor, yes, you read that right. Mantor was a real WWE wrestler. Mike Halleck debuted as Mantor in 1995, bringing to life a character who would headbutt, maul, and even moo at his opponents. Mantor's unique approach to intimidation was both amusing and baffling. Despite participating in significant events like the Royal Rumble and the King of the Ring tournament that year, the bizarre gimmick didn't last long and was quickly discarded, becoming a curious footnote in WWE history. Arachnoman, in an attempt to capitalize on the popularity of Spider-Man. WCW introduced Arachnoman. This character was essentially a copy of the beloved superhero, with slightly altered colors to avoid legal issues. However, Marvel Comics noticed the resemblance and promptly sued WCW, forcing them to drop the gimmick. Arachnoman's short-lived run left fans scratching their heads and wondering what the creative team was thinking. Max Mood is a staple on many worst gimmicks lists. Before gaining fame in WCW and TNA as Conan, Carlos Moises played Max Moon, a cyborg from the future. The character was known for his bright blue suit and futuristic gadgets. After Conan left WWE due to contract issues, Paul Diamond took over the character. Despite receiving an Intercontinental title shot, Max Moon only appeared on one pay-per-view and quickly faded away as Diamond's contract expired. The character's convoluted backstory and lackluster execution ensured its place in wrestling infamy. The Yeti's time in WCW was short-lived but memorable for all the wrong reasons. Debuting on October 23, 1995, in a block of ice on Monday Nitro, Ron Rice was unveiled as the Yeti, a mysterious member of the Dungeon of Doom. When the ice thawed, the Yeti was revealed to be a mummy, not the snow monster fans expected. His debut saw him awkwardly bear-hugging Hulk Hogan in one of wrestling's most cringeworthy moments. After a few appearances, including one as a ninja, the character was mercifully dropped, leaving fans to wonder what could have been Oz before he was Kevin Nash, Diesel, or even Vinny Vegas. There was Oz. Managed by Merlin the Wizard, Nash's character wore a long green robe inspired by the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Despite the elaborate costume and mystical backstory, Oz's gimmick fizzled after losing to Ron Simmons at the 1991 Bash at the Beach. The character's lack of depth and direction prevented it from resonating with fans. Fortunately, Nash would go on to become a six-time world champion, leaving Oz as a quirky chapter in his storied career. Have you ever seen a wrestling gimmick that made you scratch your head? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed reading about these wrestling gimmicks, feel free to subscribe for more interesting content. Battlecat in 1990, Dean Peters donned a cat mask and debuted as Battlecat, a high-flying wrestler who incorporated gymnastics into his matches to emphasize his feline persona. Despite a victorious debut against the Brooklyn Brawler, The gimmick lasted just over a month before Peters was released from his contract. Battlecat's brief run left a minimal impact, but it remains a curious example of WWE's creative experimentation during that era. Mr. America. Yes, that was Hulk Hogan under the mask, claiming to be Mr. America. The storyline revolved around Hogan being forced to sit out his contract, so he reappeared as Mr. America, insisting he wasn't Hogan. Even passing a lie detector test didn't convince anyone. The gimmick ended with Hogan legitimately quitting WWE, but not before providing fans with a bizarre and entertaining storyline. Mr. America's short run is often remembered for its comedic value and Hogan's commitment to the absurd premise. Demon. In 1999, Eric Bischoff struck a deal with the rock band Kiss to create a wrestler based on their iconic personas, resulting in the Kiss Demon. Intended to be the start of a stable representing each Kiss member, the character debuted with much fanfare. However, the Kiss Demon quickly fizzled out after Bischoff lost his position with WCW. Despite the grandiose entrance and potential for rock and wrestling crossovers, the gimmick failed to connect with the audience, becoming a symbol of WCW's declining creative direction. Gobbledygooker. Leading up to the 1990 Survivor Series, WWE hyped the hatching of a mysterious egg. When it finally cracked open, fans were greeted by Hector Guerrero in a cartoonish chicken suit known as the Gobbledygooker. The crowd's reaction was overwhelmingly negative, making the debut an instant failure. Despite the hype, the gimmick was quickly abandoned, though the Gobbledygooker has made sporadic comedic appearances over the years, receiving a more positive reception in hindsight but not least as Shockmaster. The Shockmaster's debut is one of the most infamous moments in wrestling history. Featuring former WWE Tag Team Champion Fred Ottman in a glitter-covered stormtrooper mask, the character was supposed to make a dramatic entrance by bursting through a wall. However, Ottman tripped and fell, causing his helmet to come off and turning the moment into an unintentional comedy. Ottman later described the incident: "They put me in a stormtrooper mask covered in glitter, and I couldn't see a thing. When I went through the wall, the top broke perfectly, but the bottom didn't give. I tripped and fell, and the rest is history." The Shockmaster's disastrous debut is still remembered and laughed about to this day, cementing its place as the worst gimmick in wrestling history.